Hey, everybody. We continue to go through our look at the divisions and what we think will shape up the 2021 season. I'm Nick Kypreos on the Real Kipper at Noon show, off-season edition, joined with Doug Maclean, and we battle what we think will be a good look and a good indication of where these teams could go in this shortened season. Now, nothing's written in stone here, but we think that this is the way it's going to shape up come January 13th. So as we go through the various divisions, let's focus right now on the Central Division. And before we get going, I'm just going to show you what a dick move Doug Maclean pulled just prior to doing this segment. I looked off camera, and there he is talking to his son, Clark, and he's like, hey, Clark, should we meet at the beach or by the pool? So here I am in my turtleneck, freezing my ass off, and there's Doug figuring out to go to the beach or perhaps the sauna. Mac, shame on you.
Well, Clark's just down here for a little vacation, Christmas vacation. So, you know, it's I want to try to entertain him. I mean, look, it is a decision. If it's a little windy, we go to the pool. If it's not windy, we go to the beach. You know, that's, you know what, when you get older, Kip, and more mature, you'll move into these retirement stage. And, you know, it's not that bad, really. It's not that bad.
You're
but I do have to get up. You know what? The only thing is I got to get to bed early tonight because I have a 7 a.m. tea time tomorrow morning. So
you're on the naughty list. No Harry Rosen tie for you, my friend. Okay, Mac, let's go through the Central Division as we go throughout the league. And please click on one of the videos and find your favorite team and see where Doug and I think they'll end up when this thing's all over after 56 games.
Do we really have to do the Central Division? Like, come on.
Is this the weakest division? Is this the weakest division out of all of them?
It is awful. I mean, it's awful. I mean, what a break to some of these teams to get it put into this division because they've got a chance to make the playoffs, a legitimate chance.
You still got to work here. You still got to earn your money here on the Real Kipper at Noon show. So, Mac, if we look at various divisions, I think that last spot in each respective division is a lock. So do we assume that this is a lock here for Detroit?
Well, Detroit, you know, I said earlier, you know, in the week where I had Detroit and LA as the two worst teams in the league, and I've got Detroit there. I mean, obviously Stevie Y's in a major rebuild there, and they will finish, in my opinion, last in the Central Division. I just don't see. I mean, I've got them with, you know, a weak forward group, a subpar blue line, and below average goaltending. There's just no chance for them to move any higher than 8.
Okay, we're in agreement with that. Before we move on, you as the next president and general manager, what is Stevie Yzerman's biggest job here? Is he going to use his cap space for motivation to add assets, i.e., can he work out a deal with his old club Tampa Bay, end up with a first rounder and maybe a guy like Tyler Johnson? Is that, you know, can he park, you know, Zetterberg's contract somewhere else and earn another high pick? Is that his focus?
Look, the cupboard is so dry there, you know, after this team trying to be a contender for a 25-year period. Stevie Y has got to just continue to add assets, and that's what he's doing. I mean, he's got the luxury of no pressure right now. Right now, no pressure. But as time goes on, pressure will come to a forefront. He still has the coaching situation that he can make a change to improve the team some. I don't see, you know, I anticipate a coaching change being made partway through this year or for sure next season. And, you know, he's got to, as you said, acquire assets. And, yeah, he can use Zetterberg the same as they used Datsuk's contract to pick up additional assets, and he will do it. There's no doubt about that. He did it in Tampa. He'll do it here.
Okay, let's move on. You mentioned pressure. I look at Chicago. I don't think they have a lot of pressure here. No expectations to make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to make it. I have them at 7, but that still puts a ton of pressure on Jonathan Taves and Pat Kane. You know, even you look at that blue line, Seabrook, not healthy, can't do what he used to do. And then Duncan Keith, who I thought was terrific in the bubble, Mac, but come on, he's getting up there in age too.
You know what? I've got Chicago. I've got Florida worse than Chicago, and I'll tell you why. I don't think Florida's group of forwards is as good as Chicago's because of Keith, or because of Kane, because of obviously the guys that have played so well. Taves there, even Saad, and a few young guys there. Dockett. I think that Florida are not as good. I've got Florida there. I've got Florida in the 7th spot, and I've got Chicago in the 6th spot.
Okay. Just one more comment on Chicago here. A lot of people thought maybe Stan Bowman's job was on the line. Mac, he got a promotion, man. He's the president now.
There's people out there subtly campaigning for this job the last few months. And all of a sudden, this announcement would have rocked a few people. Stan not only keeps his job, but he adds the president's title. I was shocked by it. I thought Stan would be feeling some heat. He's been there a long time. It's shocking how many years, when you look at it, he has been, with that organization. I remember talking to Stan Bowman when he was a student at Notre Dame. He used to come in and hang out with us with the Red Wings when his dad, Scotty, and I was working with Scotty there. But look, I was caught off guard by this promotion. I really was. I think he's done it. Obviously, he's won the Stanley Cups. But I thought there would be a lot of pressure this year on Stan Bowman, and we were wrong.
Yeah, and I'm with you and a lot of other people, and wondering, whether or not Chicago made a strong move there to dig themselves out of this mess. But we'll see. So you mentioned the Florida Panthers, Mac. Once upon a time, a 25-goal scorer could have cost you between $4 or $5 million. Not anymore. Anthony Duclair signs there, 1.8. He represents himself, Mac, which, puts himself in a bit of a dilemma, especially when Anthony Duclair, the agent, turned down, I think, around $3.4 million from Ottawa to only end up with 1.8 in Florida. Think he maybe should have got it. Should he got an agent himself?
I think he should have got an agent. And I knew what was going on in Ottawa, that he had actually turned this down because he was looking for term on his Ottawa deal. And I'm thinking, be careful what you wish for. And chirping about not having an agent. GMs like when players don't have agents. Trust me, especially when there's a pandemic out there. Are you kidding me? Bad timing by this guy.
Well, I'm sure Bill Zito thinks he got a bargain at under $2 million for a potential 25, 30 goal scorer, which brings us maybe to 30 and 40 goal scorers in Nashville with the likes of Matt Duchene. But Mac, I got them on the outside looking in here, and a team that has been looked upon as a contender for a lot of years, all of a sudden doesn't look too good to me, even with a stellar blue line.
This is a team that is shocking me, how they've gone from being not a contender, a Stanley Cup contender. And all of a sudden, since the Seth Jones trade and the addition of Johansson, a downward spiral has happened. I don't get what happened. I understand they were good on the back end. I get all that. But when all of a sudden they bring in Duchene, Turris comes first, Duchene second, it has not been a pretty sight. Coaching changes. This is not a pretty situation. I'm with you. I've got Nashville on the outside. You know what? And that I've got them with one of the best blue lines still in the division and out of the playoffs. That's where I've got them.
I look at Pekka Rinne, and at one time we could look at him and say one of the better goaltenders in the league. And yes, he's still got flashes, Mac, of being real good. But how many cracks can you get if you're Nashville fan with Pekka Rinne?
He's getting up there. Saros has been the backup and has been real good, but they seem to be a little hesitant to give him the job. He's a 5'11" goaltender who has been very, very good. But They have stayed with Pecorine, but look, there's a transition going on in Nashville, and if they miss the playoffs, it will not be pretty in Music City. And I don't have them close to getting in. I'm sorry, I don't.
One of the challenges between the NHL head office and maybe the NHL Players Association is trying to figure out which team's in what division. And it's flip-flop, and who knows, folks, what it could still end up looking by January 13th. But Dallas was one of those teams. Are they in? Are they out? Are they in the West? Are they not? We've got them in the Central right now. Who knows what tomorrow brings, Mac? But it adds to a little bit of a more even playing field in this division for the likes of maybe Tampa Bay or Carolina. They make it interesting in this Final Four here.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, look, just going back for 1 sec to Nashville, they have got to beat out Columbus to have any chance of getting in the playoffs, and I've got Columbus ahead of them. But if you turn it around like you just talked about Dallas comes into this division and all of a sudden makes it a little more interesting. It challenges Tampa Bay a little bit because Dallas are a good hockey team, although I'm not sold on Dallas's goaltending. I know, Hudobin was terrific. I don't know if he can do it for a whole year. I don't know Bishop's health. So obviously, Tampa Bay are without a doubt the best team. They're going to finish first. You talked about it the other day with me saying it's like an exhibition season for Tampa Bay. Now, with Kucherov out, if in fact Kucherov is out, Tampa Bay aren't as good. They got some salary cap problems, but Tampa Bay is without a doubt the runaway winner here with Dallas, for me, second. But you're not agreeing with me on Dallas in the number 2 hole.
I just think that they overachieved a little bit in the bubble. And to your point, Mac, no one will ever argue whether or not, Hudobin's an NHL goalie. But can we argue whether he's a legitimate number 1 guy now after all these years? I'm still not there. And I think at times it can be a challenge for him to carry the ball here. They've got some great young players. There's no question about that. And they got some goal scorers. Gurianov came in and scored big time for them.
Yeah.
Rupe Hintz, a good, strong horse. Radulov's good. Pavelski getting up there, but still has, serviceable years. Ben, of course, played terrific in the bubble. Tyler Seguin could have a rebound year now that he's healthy. But I just don't know whether it's enough to get them over the hump here again to a Stanley Cup final. And certainly don't see it being better than the Tampa Bay Lightning. But I like them. I just don't like them as much as I think I like even Carolina Hurricanes, who've got some experience under their belt the last few years. Goaltending, again, might be a question mark. But, Mac, between Columbus and Carolina and Dallas, it'll be a challenge now to fight the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Stanley Cup champions.
Well, look, here's the interesting thing. You talk about Dallas's goaltending. I'm not sold on your guys in Carolina. I mean, look, I love their forward group and I like their blue line, but I ain't in love with that goaltending in Carolina. So I know you're a big Reimer guy.
Well,
but I mean, Mrazek and Reimer, I'm not sold on them. But
Mrazek has to step up. And I will say this, Mac. I'm not convinced that these two guys end up being in the playoffs together any more than I look at the goaltending tandem in Edmonton between Mike Smith and Koskinen. I don't believe – I know they're starting all together, but I don't believe they'll end up together. I think there's going to be a goaltending change in Carolina.
Look, I like Carolina's forwards better than Dallas's. I like Dallas's defense better than Carolina's defense. And the goaltending, so you know what? I've got it. Tampa, Dallas, Carolina, Columbus getting into the playoffs. That's where I've got it in my top 4. We'll see.
So now word is that Kucherov, I'm getting all my Russians mixed up, will start on the IR. And conveniently, Mac, help them out in their salary cap. Should we put our surprise faces on?
I think that we didn't see urgency in Tampa Bay on their resolution of their salary cap problems, because I suspect Julien Brisebois knew about this long before we did. So look, is it a good solution? Well, it helps a salary cap problem, but who wants to miss Kucherov from your lineup? That's a real problem, but it buys some time for them. You know what? I would rather him move Tyler Johnson and fix his cap problem that way, maybe to Detroit for a Zetterberg, versus having to have Kucherov out of the lineup. Kucherov injury could be devastating.
Even with the challenges, Anthony Cirelli looking for a contract. You look at Tyler Johnson, no room for him anymore.
Yeah.
This team is so deep still.
Well, I agree. And it starts with their goaltender. I mean, Nick, watching their goaltending last year in the playoffs was special to watch. The focus, starting with the Columbus series where this guy had to play, 5 overtimes. I mean, that goaltending display by Tampa Bay was unbelievable. And I'm telling you, is he the best goaltender in the NHL? You'd have to say he's right there. He's that damn good.
Well, there you have it. Central Division. We're both in agreement, Mac, that Tampa Bay will end up playing 56 exhibition games to get ready for the playoffs in this division, or at least it shapes that way up on paper, but we know the game's not played on paper.
The only guy that disagrees with Tampa Bay winning the series, Jeff Rimmer, thinks Columbus will finally win a division championship. So we'll see.
Jeff Rimmer knows where his bread's buttered. No question about that. Okay, Doug Maclean on the Central Division. I hope you've enjoyed. If your favorite team's involved on the information that Doug Maclean gave you, maybe it's going to help you with your bets on BlitzBet, your fantasy camps, whatever it is going forward. Mac did a pretty good job of giving you the goods. I'm Nick Kypreos for the Real Kipper at Noon show. If you liked this division talk, make sure that you take a look at our video list and find your favorite team and see where they are shaping up according to Mac and I. I'm Nick Kypreos for the Real Kipper at Noon show off-season edition. If you're a first-time watcher, please subscribe, and we'll get you ready for the 2021 season. Have a great day, everybody.